guys, welcome to the best books of July. Yeah, I'm doing a video finally. It's been a while. I did actually record the stacking the shelves before this, but that's not going to post for a week or two. So yeah, I'm going to just get into the best books of July. It was actually a very good reading month. I had 6 books that I read and really, really loved. The first one of those was A Desolation Called Peace, which is the second book in the Text Kalan duology by Arcady Martine, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right, but hopefully I am. This is a science fiction kind of a space opera thing. I actually enjoyed the second book. I really enjoyed the first book, but I enjoyed the second book in that series even more. They're finally like discovering this alien species. It's threatening the empire. Characters are very relatable. We still have our main characters from the first book, but there's some additional characters in there, and I'm really hoping that more books get added to this world and series. I haven't heard anything about more getting added, but if you're into science fiction, the Text Kalan duology is very good, and I would recommend it. And I know everyone recommends it, so it's not a surprise. The thumbnail for this did have my cat in it, and he's still back here, but I don't know if he's going to come and visit anymore. He's mad at me because he gets treats midday and he hasn't gotten them yet, so he wants me to stop doing unimportant things like recording videos and give him treats. All right, back to the best books of July. The second book I read and really enjoyed is Mammoths at the Gates, which is the 4th book in the Singing Hill cycle by Ningbo. This isn't out yet. I believe it comes out in September, but it was very, very good. I really enjoyed the whole Singing Hill cycle. These are novellas about a cleric who works for a monastery where they go out and gather stories from different parts of the world and then report those back to the monastery. This book is a little different than all the previous books because the cleric is actually returning to the home monastery because there's been an event there that has kind of changed the structure of the monastery. And rather than bringing stories back, we're actually learning about the monastery and some of the stories of the characters that live in the monastery. So very much love this one. Again, I really love this whole series. I've read some other books by Gimbo, and the Singing Hill cycle is by far my favorite thing that she's working on. All right, the third book I read and really enjoyed is Starter Villain by John Scalzi. This one is just a lot of fun. It's about a man who inherits a whole bunch of money from an uncle that he didn't even know liked him. And he finds out that his uncle was a villain. And so he's got to figure out how to like navigate this whole world of villainy. And in addition to that, like you find out that there are talking cats involved. So his cat is not exactly what you thought she was, and you find out very early in the story. So that won't spoil it for you, but it's very hilarious, and I really enjoyed all of it. All right, the fourth book I read and really enjoyed was kind of a surprise for me. I had kind of just added this one to my wish list at the library, and it happened to be available on audiobook when I was looking for a new audiobook to read, and that is Be Not Far From Me by Mindy McGinnis. This one is about a teenage girl who goes out into the woods with some friends to celebrate. Not really celebrate, they're just going to drink and fool around. She finds out her boyfriend is cheating on her. She runs off into the woods and ends up falling down a crevice cliff and hurting herself really bad. And it's mostly about her surviving that experience. She's in the Great Smoky Mountains and trying to get back to civilization and health. So she's very much trying to survive that. And as you go through that, it's not just her survival. She goes back into the past and she kind of revisits different parts of her life that were significant to her, and that the experience she's going through trying to survive things is, you know, having an effect on right now. Like, I didn't say that very well, but things from her past that are helping her or affecting her thoughts during her current survival. It was very intense, very well done, had some humor in it, and I just very much enjoyed the character and all of that. All right, the fifth book that I read and really enjoyed in July is The Witch of Wild Things by Raquel Vaquez. I can't read my handwriting. This, I believe, also comes out like late August, early September. It's more of a paranormal, like small town paranormal kind of thing. It's about a woman who's returning to the town after the death, her hometown after the death of her sister, and she's got a lot of baggage to deal with. She also has some magical powers that she's been trying to kind of ignore. All the women in the family have like magical powers. They're pretty, they're kind of magical realism, but they're also pretty blunt in some ways. Like one of her sisters can call storms. She can control like wild plants and earth things and stuff like that. This was just very well done. There's a lot about family and growing as a person. She hooks up with a love interest, so there's like a little bit of romance in there. They're just really well done. I really hope there's more books in this paranormal world because it was just kind of a fun, feel good paranormal story with some magic and witches and a good family history and a good mystery and a little bit of romance, as I said. I thought was a very nice blend of things, and it was very surprising that I really, really loved it. All right, and the last book that I put on my best books of July list is the third book in the Musai series by E.J. Mello, and that's Symphony for a Deadly Throne. I actually gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think it's the only book on here that I didn't give 5 stars. But I think it's worth mentioning because I really enjoyed that whole fantasy series. It's set in a fantasy world where there's like a secret thief kingdom, and these 3 sisters are the Musai, basically the muses, and they have very strong, deadly magical powers, but they also live normal lives and are kind of growing apart from each other because they're getting older and finding husbands and finding loves of their own. I really enjoyed like the Thief Kingdom and all the magic in the series. It's written in a very beautiful, like magical, glittery way. And I additionally really just enjoyed the family dynamic between the sisters. And then the romances in each book were very well done. This book out of all 3 was my favorite, just because it's the oldest sister. She always takes on a lot of responsibility. She's trying to hold everything together, and I think I relate with her very well. And that commitment and responsibility is like getting in the way of her having a meaningful relationship with this man that she loves and has loved for a long time, and they're trying to figure out how they can both like reach their goals and what they want to do in their lives but still be together and support their families and all that. So really enjoyed that. Yeah, so those were the 6 books I read in July. July was a good reading month for me. I already gave a little bit more of a life update in my Stacking the Shelves, which again won't post for a couple weeks yet. But yeah, we've been busy. I mentioned I started my new job at Cargill at the end of July. We've been doing a lot of trips. We did a couple college trips. We just got back from going to Gen Con, which was a lot of fun, but very busy. We were pretty much busy from like 8 or 9 in the morning till like 9 or 10 at night every single day. So maybe I'll talk more about that at a later date, but I just am kind of busy right now, so I'm trying to squeeze this in. Just started a new job at a really big company, so it's been very busy meeting people. I'm going between different local locations, not like travel, but just different labs and corporate headquarters and stuff like that. And just working again is, I had 6 weeks to just kind of take naps and work out and read and play some video games and do other things. And so I'm trying to get back into like working. And that's been fun. Everybody's been great there so far. I think it's going to be a really enjoyable job. But again, the beginning is always overwhelming. And not even just from like meeting all the new people and the projects, but just getting into a big company again. I forget how much is involved in like getting benefits set up and getting your 401k set up and rolling over your old 401k and dealing with HSA accounts and life insurance and just account access to everything you need access to. Like I need access to patent searching systems and other info services for technical research. So getting all of that set up, making sure you're on the right mailing lists in the company and that you're in the right like lab meetings and all these kind of things. And you're getting paid and you have all your tax exemptions set up and all of that kind of stuff. So working through all of that here, it didn't really help that I was there like 4 days and then I went on vacation and then I got back this week. So trying to get caught up on all that. There seems like there's something new, like, oh, I have to set up my Derwent searching account. That was yesterday. Oh, my corporate travel card came through, so I have to make sure that's all set up, lots on that. And then, you know, after coming back from Gen Con vacation, we did kind of a lot of vacations this summer. I'm looking forward to getting into a little bit more regular schedule and just keeping things a little bit more in control and on some sort of schedule of some sort. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's been very, very busy, but hopefully things will I always think things are gonna come down. They never do, because we always do stuff. Yeah, so I guess the other thing we're getting ready for is my son is getting ready to start school in a couple weeks, so we're getting all like the paperwork and registration stuff for him to do that. This is just high school, but they still have, it's a big high school, so he's got to register, he's got to get parking permits and school yearbook ordered and school pictures done, and so we're dealing with all that stuff too. Yeah, I don't have much more to say. So if you had any other great, I hope you enjoyed listening to me babble about my life and about the best books I read in January. If you had any books you read in January and really enjoyed, feel free to comment on them below. I always am looking for new wonderful books. And I will talk to you guys in a couple weeks for Stacking the Shelves. Bye.